So this, let's just get right into it. This was a race from Thursday night. This was a doubleheader that I was doing. I needed to win both races to make it into brackets. And this is game 2. I just won game 1 by like 5.5 minutes, I think. It was a Mick boss with the boss shuffle and stuff. And so we're setting up, we're getting ready for the last game. It's Ambrosia. Ambrosia is boots hint it's standard with a boots hint at the start, assured sword, and enemies will drop non-dungeon, bosses will only drop non-dungeon items. Makes for some interesting routing options, especially when you're dealing with like pendant dungeons and stuff. I'm using the Brain Lord MSU pack, which is what we're listening to right now as well. And I was super like freaking out because I needed to win this race to move on to brackets. It was very important that I won this race. And let's see if I can get this bad boy synced up and we'll begin. So I'm gonna do this and this. Okay, this one's ahead by a little bit. Now it's behind. Or no, it's still ahead. There we go. Alright. I think everything's synced up. Big shout-outs real quick as well to, I believe it was Arteril that restreamed this on the LTTPR channel. I believe Arteril restreamed both of my races? Both of the doubleheader, so. Shouts to them, and of course, shouts to the commentators and trackers that worked on both these races. Okay. I think now this one is a little behind. Don't worry, I'll get this synced up. Good enough? Is it synced up good enough? Yeah, I think it's good enough. Alright. It's my first time I've done something like this. Rewatching a race and live commentating over it. Earlier, for, I think it was my first race against Vortex, I did a rewatch. Oh, no, it was JP's match. I did a rewatch of that and commentated my perspective, but this time I'm commentating both of our perspectives because I want to see how close this was.
But long chili dog.
WJB Smug, WJB Smug, WJB Smug, WJB Smug, WJB Smug.
Tell me more. Sale. Thanks for the 29. Appreciate that very much. Thanks. Tell you more about Ambrosia. I already told you about Ambrosia. We start with swords. Ignore the fact that the tracker on screen doesn't have swords for either of us yet, but that's okay. They'll figure it out. There was a boot hint for Death Mountain, so I knew that the boots were going to be on Death Mountain, which meant that it was either going to be Old Man Rescue, Spectacle Cave, Spectacle Rock, Ether Tablet, Spiral Cave, Paradox Cave, or Mimic Cave, I believe is the other Death Mountain. So, and if there was anything I learned, this was the first mode that I actually played a duplicate of. I played Ambrosia against JP in our first race, where we got a boots hint for Pod. And I held off on Pod like I often do, hoping to find the bow. And while JP rushed Pod, ended up getting the boots and a really, really early mirror, which was our ticket to progression. So I had that in mind. I was like, okay, as soon as I have Death Mountain access, I am going up there to see if I can get my damn boots. How's the game audio, by the way? Is it fine? Does it sound okay? Not too loud, right? Started here, right? There's been a lot of Ambrosia seeds where I've seen, like, getting another sword in Hyrule Castle. And like, in this instance, you know, you start with a sword, you get cape right away, and immediately, as soon as you see cape this early, it's always thinking about Aga. Always thinking about that Aga play. Yeah. The seed was also nice because the guards were dropping bombs, so farming bombs was not a big concern. All right, I turned the audio for the game audio to 100 now. Is that a Heathcliff sprite? Get out of here, Captain. No. Scarfield. It's large orange tabby. Tracker, please mark sword. They'll get it. They'll get it eventually. But yeah, me remembering that snakes and guards share the same prize pack, I'm like, I'm gonna kill all these snakes and get me a 4-pack. And then I did. And then I walked into that snake. I was like, I don't care. That's fine. Whatever. Pretty standard stuff, you know, just going through escape. Nothing too exciting. I'm, you know, early game is not very stressful just because there's a, like, outside of like inverted, there's a pretty standard route to go through. You know, you do escape, go to the Kakariko, you do South Shore, bada bing, bada boom. How did the matchup end? Well, I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm not gonna spoil it. Come on now, nice lamp. Yeah, like immediately, lamp and hammer is really nice. I was happy to see hammer, but I was less happy to see lamp because that immediately, I'm like, okay, I have a sword, I have a cape, I have lamp. Immediately, I could have a Moon Pearl on Pyramid. That was the first thought that came to mind, and there's nothing. I mean, for me, like one of the more stressful things in a rando seed is when you have this potentially required Aga for Dark World seed. And I went for a quick save and quit because I was like, you know what? I have a sword, I have bombs. Let's go do Mini Molren Cave real quick. Seemed like a good idea to me. Now, this was one thing that I do kind of regret doing. Okay, there you saw there was a pendant at Eastern on miendiem side, and I think it was a red crystal at Desert. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah it was. Need sword 1 or 2 for Aga. So with the cape, you can bypass the spark that blocks the entrance. You only need 1 sword if you have the cape, because you need to slash the curtain, and of course, in this instance, well, I mean, we did have hammer, so, but you need the sword to slash the curtains to get into the Aga fight. If you don't have cape, then you need a master sword. You need a level 2 sword, at least, to break the barrier. But yeah, as I was leaving the dam, I was like, okay, if this is an item that I'm going to pick up, then I'll go ahead and go to Agnes Cave. Otherwise, I'm going to Mini Molren and then Ice Rod Cave. Man, I am just getting dinked here left and right. You know what would have made this Mini Molren Cave so much easier? If I just had some bees. That'd be nice. If only I had some bees. I like that. That's pretty nice. No Ice Rod Hunt today. Love it. Love to see it. Yeah, it looks like me and miendiem had completely different opening routes outside of Hyrule Castle. Let's see, let me remember what was in. Plenty of bombs. There's the Moon Pearl, okay. And Burna, that's nice. So already, based on what we see from both players, you know, you could beat Aga, grab the pyramid item, and then go down to Hype Cave, all the way over to Digging Game, or straight into Pod. Which is just, ugh. Gross. You hate to see it. Now, what else was in Kakariko? Zora money, that's good. I don't remember why I went south route to Kakariko. Oh, I know why. It's because if I found a glove along the way, then I was gonna go right up the mountain. And this pattern, this like backwards L or whatever, this hook shape route would have worked out pretty well. But based on what we see on a miendiem side, not a single glove in sight yet. There's still a couple more checks here. Nice blue boomerang. Nothing at the maze race. Yeah, no glove in Kakariko. Art piece at library. Don't care about that. Last chance for a glove outside of Eastern. Nope. A little high five. All right, sync number 1. 10 minutes. Here in Kakariko. Oh yeah, that was the downside about this route, is that the bottle that was in the upper half meant I had to go back down to Sick Kid, which is kind of obnoxious, but what are ya gonna do? Good old Brainlord music. I like this MSU pack. It's really comfy. I do need to, before brackets start, assuming I won this race and made it into brackets, I need to make sure that the Bomberman pack is approved for restream. Assuming... we don't know. My hand's getting cut off on both sides. Oh no. Fun fact, the light tubes for Mine's timer had an individual path for each number. Current was sent to whichever one was required. Wow. That's very interesting, cool dude. Thank you. Do armless, yep. I don't need these. I miss the bees too. Though I would lose so much time to just like randomly spawning bees for 0 gain. Oh, miendiem grabs the heart piece and okay, so this is a huge point because right now that Agnes Cave is super isolated for me. So if there ends up being something here, that would be huge. Especially if like Glove was here, like, because in my situation, going back to Agnes Cave is really out of the way. Spawning bees for the lulz? I mean, I gain nothing but lag. Alright, just 10 arrows. So yeah, I mean, that could have been really bad for me. And of course, you know, as I'm continuing through here and not finding the glove, I'm like, man, if Agnes Cave had the glove, I'm screwed, man. So my change in decision here was because I'm gonna go check what's at Lumberjack. Because I mean, if there's something required at Lumberjack, then making the Aga play before Eastern is pretty sensible. Womp womp. Just 10 arrows. I need to use bombs more in Mini Moldering Cave if I don't have more than just like... If that's like the only range weapon I have. Yeah, I mean, if I just have sword and hammer, it's like beats the hell out of like charging a sword and walking all the way up, and getting each one on the right and left side. Blue rupee. I was kind of bummed about that. I would much rather in this situation have a required aga because there's an item at lumberjack. Especially in a mode where you know where the boots are, for the most part. Man, bombs on Lake Hylia Island. We're heading to Saha Eastern. I don't think I've done a map check yet? No, because the tracker didn't mark them for me. Yeah, some trackers will like only mark the information that that particular player has. So because I've never done a map check yet, and I tend to not do map checks in these kind of modes because I don't want that to dictate whether I go into a dungeon or not early, or if I hold off. All right, is this the bailout? Kind of. There's my Zora money, but nothing else. Won't. Map check. I'm like, okay, Pen at Eastern. I'm going in. I mean, with this being Ambrosia and where one of the items in the dungeon is going to be on the boss and you can't beat it, these unbeatable dungeon dips can be kind of bad. They can be kind of a mistake for sure. You know, especially in this situation, like, there's a good chance I'm probably never going back into Eastern unless I absolutely have to. Yeah, I saw miendiem talk to Saha, which, you know, getting green pendant info, aside from going to the Dark World, I guess is kind of, I mean, I guess it's useful. You can kind of plan ahead, I guess. I don't know. But looks like they didn't take the Eastern bait and they're heading straight to Aga Tower. Which I totally agree with. I think that's the right play right here. I don't know, it's so tough, chat. Like, obviously with the cape in hand, most people are probably just going to go for the Aga play. Like, skip the Eastern dip, skip Zora, skip Agana, and just go. But it's one of those things where it's like, if I find the glove in Eastern, like, I just win. Because I don't have to... Like, look how much time I would save. Yeah, I agree, Critter. It's a lot of extra work paying attention to that, but it is a nice touch. But then people in chat are like, why is this not marked for this player? They definitely know. So far, nothing here in Eastern, and that's item number 2, so that's it for that. So the last item's going to be on Armos. Found a whole lot of nothing in there, but I am determined to avoid that Aga play, so I'm going to be a ding-dong and go do all the Zora checks. Because I know in my head, and I'm like, man, if I find a glove, if the seed just wants you to go beat Aga to get flippers, to go get a glove out of Waterfall, and I skip that portion, you just win. You just, like, there's a very good chance that you just take a massive lead. And honestly, you know, aside from walking back all the way down here to set this up, like, if my opponent eventually comes back and does all this anyway, then I don't really lose that much time. So in my head, I didn't feel like this was a terrible play. I just know that most people will be like, why is Willard doing this? Just go to Aga. The seed is screaming Aga Tower right now. Just go. But I don't want to. I've definitely... I mean, it rarely happens. I've certainly had seeds where I've beaten Aga and then found a glove in a flipper lock location. So, you know. I mean, Zora is... No, Zora's also not in Logic. None of these checks are in logic. So yeah, I mean, it was. I think it was a risk, but yeah. Well, you know, it's so easy to just be watching and be like, dude, go to Aga. It's the obvious answer. But like when your tournament life's on the line, and you have this possibility of being able to skip Aga even with a sequence break, like it's hard to say no to it. It's really easy to be watching and like telling them where to go or where they should go. Oh, all right. Well, a lot of nothing so far. And at this rate, unless I find a glove off of Zora, which would be funny because Zora is glove locked, I'm gonna be an entire Aga Tower behind. Willard, have you tried doing what I would like you to do? No, because you haven't told me what you like me to do. Jay. $20? Of like the last like 5 or 6 checks I did, I think 4 of them were $20. Is putting off Aga really bad though? Like you might be doing other unnecessary checks, but you're going to eventually be funneled to it. And if you picked up like Ice Rod, then the net benefit, if you get some hard to get stuff from a one-off, it really depends. I mean, it depends on if, like, you know, if my opponent holds off on doing the Zora checks until they have, like, the boots or flute, that they could save time getting down to there and doing water walk or dashing as a water walk much faster. So, you know, I'm definitely losing time compared to somebody doing it faster later. But at the same time, as long as my opponent goes and does those checks at some point, then it's really not the end of the world, I don't think. But of course, remember here, I still haven't done Agnes Cave, so I'm like freaking out. Like, man, because all it takes is one item to open up a bunch of stuff. Like, you get the glove and you get Dark World access. You get the flute and you have Death Mountain access. I guess that'd be the only 2 things to really consider here. Yeah, miendiem into the Dark World much, much sooner than me. Into Hype Cave. Pulls out a very hilarious bow, in my opinion. Which, you know, for them, since they never dipped Eastern, getting bow before getting to Eastern is pretty nice. Like, now they have a completely beatable Pendant Eastern. And Pendant Crystal Pod. We haven't actually seen what pod is yet. I'd like you to use code Willard or Dumb at Madrinas.com for 20% off your order. I gotta try out that new strawberry mango flavor they just dropped. Actually, I still haven't even tried some of the other stuff that I have, like the blueberry pomegranate. Too busy sipping on them delicious cold brews. Oh, there's our map check. So, yeah, Pendant Pod, Pyramid Fairy Crystal, Mire. So, it's like, all right, you made it to the Dark World. Now what? Well, you have Pendant Eastern or Pendant Pod. Go. When do we get a Brew Crew flavor? Well, I have to blow up a little bit more, you know? I'm not famous enough. I wasn't paying too much attention, but I feel like that was a pretty okay Aga climb for me. Hard to complain about that one. Simpsons donut flavor. I'm the #1 B-mode LTTPR streamer? Oh my gosh, you're right. I'll take that. I don't know what that was. I tell you, the rubbers on my Super Nintendo controller are dying. I need to get them fixed before I join. I'm gonna be like in the middle of a race and like my A button presses are just not gonna work, which would be good if I was playing Super Mario 64, but not Link to the Past. Yes, Daft. I'm gonna, well, not really nitpick, just kind of explain my decision making, but also just whilst also enjoying how close this race is. Right now, I'm behind. Hypothetically, just because I did a bunch of extra checks before committing to the Aga play. Do. And yeah, 25 minutes into the Dark World doesn't feel too good. How many blue balls? It was like 5, maybe? There's a lot. Yay! I did it! Huzzah! Now I could go do everything that miendiem just did, so. Instant. Map check. How frustrating were all those balls? I mean... Okay, I don't know what happened to my brain here. I think I was multitasking, trying to mark stuff on my tracker, that I just completely ignored the item on the pyramid, but also completely forgot what the prizes were, which is why we saw a triple map check from me like a ding dong. What's up, Shady? Technically, miendiem is winning, but that's because they went to Aga at like 16 minutes while I went much later. But I mean, it never feels good nearly last locating your Dark World Axis, and it ends up being Aga anyway. Alright, I forgot. We're looking at Pod. Pod was fine. Kind of dumb, if I recall. I remember getting the bow and thinking, this game sucks, especially because I'd already done Eastern at this point. So, of course, I'm immediately like, man, if Eastern has something, I'm sad. I'm real sad. Because that'd be basically an unforced Eastern dip. I forgot what was in Pod. It was something good. I mean, it was something required. I think it was the glove. Now you gotta remember, this is game 2. We just finished up a like 140 McBoss seed. I think we took like 15 minutes, a 15-minute break before we started the next race. And you know, whoever wins this race moves on to brackets. So we're both kind of just like, you know, well, I'm stressing all the time. It's all I ever do. It's the only way I know how to play this game is being stressed out. Yeah, there's the powder. I think powder ended up being important. Nothing over here, and then I'm gonna be Ding Dong. Okay, here's Ding Dong Part 2. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Well, here I go. Gonna go to Pod. Because I'm a genius. How difficult is it to, in a doubleheader like this, to not have run bias or seed bleed? I think it helps having it be 2 different modes. I really didn't consider the previous seed at all in my decision making this time. I still just played my way. And yeah, we saw the glove in Maze Race here in Pod, so. So first of all, I'm getting bullied by this guy. So I'm mad about that. And then I go to lift up the rock. Oh, you're stupid. Now what? What are you gonna do, dummy? You gonna go beat Eastern? Oh, wait. Can't lift that rock either. I was so bad at myself. Oh, whoops. That was really bad. I don't usually make those kind of mistakes, so... And, you know, I had a race earlier this week. Me versus Vortex, that came down to 35 seconds. There would be the time. So I'm feeling bad because of the late Aga play, and then I'm feeling bad because of that play, so... And, like, you know, we're 30 minutes in, and I have some good items, but nothing to really get me up the damn mountain so I can get my gosh dang boots. Dang it! I'm glad I didn't have a face cam during either of these races, because I'm probably bright red and just shaking my head the whole time. These seeds were not friendly. Like, they did not play to my playstyle at all. Yeah, it looks like miendiem's gonna go ahead and kill Helma. I mean, Helma does have an item. It is a pendant. So... you don't want to isolate that. I mean, with Glove now, we do have access to 2 checks up the mountain, and Eyes on a 3rd. We can also just get to the Dark World over in West Hyrule. So we have options. A certified WJB dumb moment. I'm not gonna lie, chat, it's been really nice just doing these like little rewatches. It's kind of nice streaming, but not having to play video games. I can just sit here, drink coffee, and chat. How long did this end up being? Oh, you'll see. I'll say it was longer than the first race, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm basically like a full pod behind at this point. I mean, I do still have those light roll checks that I did over miendiem, so... yeah, I agree. Going for... you could try and go for hammer pokes here, but... it's not great, so... switching to arrows, I think, is the right call. Well, the thing is, as I'm competing and doing these races, I feel like I'm less enjoying having like my mic on and my webcam on during the race. You know, yeah, you're missing out on the live reactions to me playing the seed, which is usually just me shaking my head. But at the same time, when I have those really rough seeds and I'm just like beating myself to death, like it's really hard to listen to. I know for a fact. So it's kind of nice just being able to just focus on the game and play, and then do these rewatches later instead. I forgot if it was this spot, but the way it pushed you to weird choices reminded me of one of the dumbest seats I've seen. Kind of Pet is dead. Everyone was confused where Ice Rod was. Only bottom logic on Ped. Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean... the live reactions on SG Live were great. We got some good memes out of that one. Whoop. So I got Big Key early and decided to just go ahead and kill Helma. This is more so just me being like, I don't want to find the goods in pod and then be at all baited into leaving. I want to just get this out of the way, so I don't have to think about it ever again. But, you know, with how much extra I did, you know, there is an argument for skipping this. Oh, a little bit of a video flub. But yeah, we saw on miendiem side that there was nothing on Helma. It's kind of the tough part about Ambrosia, is that these pendant bosses always have an item, so... Yeah, here's me messing up. I didn't even try and go for the hammer pokes, like having my sword out while I did that, so... I just switched to arrows. I was like, you gotta go, buddy. Thanks for the sip, cool dude. So, Magic Bat not having anything but money. Where was Flute? Was Flute also in pod? Did we see that as well? Was it Flute, Hammer? No. Flute book, or sorry, Flute, glove, and powder. It's crazy to see how much time is actually saved by not doing hammer pokes on the mask. I mean, if you can get Helma to stand still for a gosh dang second, and you can get close enough, you can just pump a bunch of arrows into him fast enough. Do not steal Art Sale. I will not steal that. The lag from the sword sparkles and hitting with hammer? Oh, gotcha. That's true. I think it's better... I mean, if you don't screw up the hammer pokes, then it's probably faster. Because you can immediately start hitting him as soon as the mask breaks. While if you're going for arrows, you kind of have to wait for him to stop. But if you mess up, then yeah, of course it's slower. Money, 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 money. Don't really need this money. Since I already did Zora. I've already opened up Pod. I already did Digging Game. So the only money I need to really spend next would be on Smith and Chess Game. Right, okay. That was the flute. I see that and I'm like, oh baby! Let's go get my boots! Up on Death Mountain, hell yeah. Oh, thank you, cool dude. Very, very funny. 100% funny. Yeah, and there I didn't have to check the big chest because I knew the map was there. Okay, glove, flute. Time to go do... it seems like I just followed in miendiem's footsteps for a bit here. Because I think next is Magic Bat, activate flute. The only difference is I went up the mountain. I think, because I was like, I want those boots as soon as possible, please and thank you. Yeah, and in the last seed between the two of us, we had... Our boots were in the very last dungeon that we beat. Because it was like flippers on Trinex to get into Swamp for your last dungeon, and the boots were in the waterfall chest. So I just came off of a race where I didn't get boots for 90 minutes, and I'm like, I need my boots as soon as possible. Please. Please give boot. I demand boot. Hell, have you know my dad's an admin on Minecraft? Don't you be making fun of my jokes. I actually know somebody that works at Minecraft. I'll see if they know your dad. Seems like nothing much going on in this Thieves Town. I think miendiem still has to do C-shape hut. Hey, are you cool, dude? Toot. You sound like a text-to-speech. If the text-to-speech read your name, cool dude, would it actually say it each two individually, or would it say, you know, try and make it one big number? It's 9 twos. So it's 222,222,222. Yeah, I checked Magic Bat and I went right up the mountain because I'm like, all right, I got 2 checks.
Let's find out at Cool Dude 222222222.
Well, there you have it. Thanks, Kara. Nice tutu, Cool Dude. Can you go ahead and change your name to Cool Dude 22222? Squeeze a 2-2 in there. That's not boots, damn it. Curse you, Ambrosia. And your lies. Nothing in Thieves Town. Nothing on Spec Cave. Alright, are these the boots? The answer was no. And I was sad. But I was up here, so I went ahead and did Spike Cave. Hammer, glove, cape. I think I had a... I think I have an empty bottle, maybe? But, I mean, this health and cape is enough to get through here. Oh, I have a fairy, okay. Oh, I have Burna, too. Burna's even better. And for once, the early Spike Cave play actually delivers an item that may or may not be required. We don't know. Mbombos. Alright, miendiem with a crystal in hand. Gonna head up to Skullwoods. Green Pendant Skull. And I'm assuming I'm just gonna play Follow the Leader and do all of Village of Outcast Thieves Town now. So yeah, like, other than picking up that Bombos right there, I'm literally still just basically an entire dungeon behind. And miendiem picks up the item right there and immediately knows that the other item is on the boss. Inconceivable. I know, right? I mean, there's so many times that Spike Cave is like my last check and I'll have progression. I guess I'm more often than not finding out that Spike Cave has nothing than actually finding progression. I've just always seen people talk about, man, I lost my race because I left Spike Cave for last and I had progression. And I was like, really? Man, I always tend to do Spike Cave like stupid early and it never has a damn thing in it. Spike Cave sucks, I just never do it. That's like me with, no, wait, what am I saying? I always do everything. That's why my win rate is not very high. So right now, based on what we've seen so far... Oh, right, that hook shot that miendiem picked up in C-Shape Hut. It's pretty good. That gets you to East Death Mountain. It gets you to Paradox Cave. Very likely to find the boots there unless they're on, like, Ether Tablet or Mimic Cave. Or... Is Floating... I don't remember. Is Floating Island... Hold on, I can confirm this. I just gotta go scroll up. Floating Island is Death Mountain. Okay, so Floating Island could be the boots as well. Yeah, it's the same basic same principle as Mimic Cave. You have to go through the Dark World to get there, but it's still in the Light World. Willard, when's Rando Shuffler where it's the same seed shuffled 4 times? What do you mean? Where I'm playing the same seed 4 times, but it's a shuffler? I don't want to play that. What are you talking about? That sounds like pain. Well, tablets... I mean, I've done... What have I've done... Oh, gosh. Stop giving me... No. I have too many other incentives I have to do first before I can play around with this crazy idea. There's a fire rod in Paradox Cave, so miendiem finding all the good stuff first. Heinous Samaria, that's really good. Boots? It's a stacked Paradox, man. Well, miendiem found boots first. They win. I mean, that's just... They win because they're having fun now, while I'm still not having fun on the left side of the screen. Yeah, the only downside would be playing Shuffler, playing this game on emulator, which I refuse to do, so sorry. Not happening. So if I ever do a Super Nintendo Dumbathon with Shuffler, Link to the Past will not be allowed to be on there. I refuse. You can pinpoint the exact moment you're not having fun. Literally at the start of the scene. I think, like, after 30 minutes... Well, I know the exact moment I stopped having fun. It was entering Agate Tower. No, not the Dong-a-thons. Not even MS%. Eh. Nah. It sounds awful. I don't want to do that. Uncle %? What's that? You just go to your uncle? It sounds very fast. I mean, if that takes you an hour, then that's... I got questions. Right. What the hell's in Tower of Hera? So we still need quite a few things. We need the mitts. We need the mirror. Hey Willard, nice job doing these cozy streams. You're the bomb.com. Oh, thanks, Cathari. See, that's how you do a say something nice to streamer redemption. You guys can learn a thing or two. Uncle Shuffle, he could be in any connector. Oh boy, that sounds fun. Talk to every guard and count 100 raindrops. That sounds like Final Fantasy X where you have to dodge 200 lightning bolts or something. Terrible. Look at that boomerang on my side. It's just hanging out. It's no B, though. That's true. So I'm pulling up this hook shot here, which is exciting me so much, because now I know that I'm probably a better shot at getting my booties. I am tempted to go into Skull real quick while I'm here. But I already know that one item is going to be locked on the boss, and the idea of dipping that for the possibility of having both items locked in the back was like, I don't like that. So I decided to go check Bumper Ledge instead. And it looks like Hera has an item in the big chest, so we'll have to do Hera Basement. Yeah, you could tell. I get about down here and I'm like, nah. It's always funny when someone doesn't save and quit right away, because you know they're thinking. They're trying to figure out what the next course of action is. So there, I saved a little bit of time, because miendiem did pop into Skullwoods, did find the other item. Yeah, I don't, when I played through FF10, I don't know if I got any of those fancy legendary weapons. I especially didn't try to dodge 200 lightning bolts. That's dumb. I would never do that. I hate the idea of that. Oh, but unfortunately, you know, you set up the, well, Well, I guess because miendiem has a fairy in a bottle, setting up the death warp here would mean you'd have to ditch your fairy, which I honestly don't think is a too bad of idea. I mean, you have almost 10 hearts and blue mail. I don't think you're going to really need a fairy anymore at this point. Yay, fire rod! Getting the fire rod there made me feel really good just because I intentionally skipped Skullwoods. Kane was great. You know, I'm always happy to see them boots show up. You did all of them as a kid, you'll never do it again. Damn. The lightning dodge has a setup that makes it not reaction based? Oh, really? Interesting. Someday I'm going to stream a Final Fantasy X playthrough. It's been, I don't even know how many years since that game came out, but it's been that minus like a couple. Since I don't think I played the game after it immediately came out. I think it was like a year afterwards or something. But miendiem finds a sword there, which is huge because, you know, Harapotting to then do Harabasement to then Harapot a second time to check the big chest is a big time commitment. So getting that Master Sword is really nice. I'm gonna spoil and say that I do the same thing, and you know, of course, at this point, I'm still feeling super behind just based on how I played the seed so far. But I was really hoping the possibility that miendiem did not get that sword, and this seed turns into a sword go mode seed. But as you can tell, miendiem already did it first. I mean, it's a tough call in this situation because, you know, you don't want to get the big key and then both items be in that chest and on the boss. It's kind of the downside about Ambrosia, when items are always going to be on the boss. Some of these 2-item dungeons are kind of harder to route, so to speak. Oh, miendiem got Bombos pretty quickly as well, so... The two things that I thought gave me a bit of an early advantage, or at least got me out of the doghouse for how late I was to get to Agate Tower, my opponent got them as well really quick, so... So right now, what do we have left? We have this boots check. miendiem still has all of Eastern to do. Can now get the second item out of Skullwoods and check Green Pendant turn in. And, I think that's it. There's really not many options at this point. Oh, I guess miendiem didn't blind or check this early like I did. Whoops. Yay! Coffee break ×2. Okay, well, there's something that saved me a couple seconds. Not blind checking that. It's like right now I'm still behind. I'm not sure what this route is. Oh, this must be miendiem heading into the Dark World. I mean, I guess if you're coming from Lumberjack, that this is probably about the same length to get to this Dark World portal. Nice magic drop. Ooh, not entering the portal from the left side to get the quick warp. Something to remember. I had a little bit of trouble with this hook setup. I think it's because the blue switches were down, so my timing is a little off. But I got it eventually. It wasn't pretty. Yeah, this seed was kind of frustrating. And honestly, me skipping Skullwoods didn't really make that big of a difference, it seems. Because, I mean, it helped that the other item was, like, really early in Skullwoods. But yeah, I mean, for miendiem, it's literally Skullwoods or Eastern left. I think that's it. But I don't know. I feel like I'm catching up. I feel like I'm catching up a little bit. Now that I have the boots, I can go fast. Yeah, this is definitely still advantage miendiem for sure. I have a little bit of trouble in this Gibdo room. I don't know if that was just trying to hit the Gibdo into the spike and not getting it, and also like trying to save magic to use Fire Rod on Moth. Yeah, damn it. It was game 1 where boots were post-go mode in the last crystal dungeon, which was Swamp. Nice. That was a really nice Moth. I love the hammer strats on Moth if Moth decides to not be a big dick. But yeah, there's the mitts. Oh, baby. Okay, well now what do you do? I mean, if you look at item set, it's like, okay, you can maybe go beat TR. You can do Smith Chain. Dark Death Mountain is a good call here. Fake Flipper into Ice Palace. Or go to the Mire area. No. Spike Cave Bombos required, so that's good. So yeah, because of all the Zora stuff I did, if this seed turns into like a Flipper's Go mode situation, then I would be hurting. Because there's a good chance, my opponent wouldn't do any of that if the last item you need is flippers. Obviously, you wouldn't go do flipper checks looking for them. I mean, there is Zora who could have flippers, could be vanilla flippers, but not very likely. So yeah, Mire, another 2-item dungeon with 1 item guaranteed on the boss. We are still looking for what? Mirror and flippers, and maybe a TR medallion. So the last time me and miendiem synced up was like 10 minutes into the race. Despite having a slightly different light world, we both synced up in the back of the tavern in Kakariko at the 10-minute mark. Oh no, Garfield dead. Yeah, honestly, me not checking the front like I normally do ended up costing me time because miendiem got to skip that first chest in the back of Skull. So that's interesting. I can't believe Garfield is dead. Yeah, but then again, because I picked up that key, I didn't have to worry about the Gibdo key. So I ended up saving a little bit of time. Doom, 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 doom. I don't think Moth was very... No, he was pretty nice. That was a sick Moth, too. And I'm like, yay, I got the meat. Now what? Well, now I have to backtrack to the front because I didn't get the other item. Looks like miendiem skipping cutscene chest for now. I don't actually remember where the second item was in here. I Feel like I routed Meyer like a ding-dong. Pretty sure I did. Oh, man. I tell you, this race was super stressful. Like, I was feeling pretty good at this point because of having to avoid a skull double dip. Yeah, I think I routed Meyer exactly like how miendiem routed it. Skip cutscene, do the right, and then go back and do cutscene. So that's good for me. There's the other item. I can get out of here. But where am I going? What am I doing here? Oh, I guess I ran down and grabbed Smith real quick and checked hammer pegs. Hammer pegs have had, like, good stuff a lot lately. This is a little... There we go. Audio was getting a little desynced. Because I'm running 2 audio streams right now. I have... The video we're watching is from the restream, obviously, which I have muted. And then the audio you're hearing is my actual recording of my solo race. Just went full screen on stream and thought my monitor was shaking. Earthquake. Yeah, I'm grabbing health here because I'm going to Meyer next, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, all that work just for a heart piece out of the Meyer big chest. Yeah, hammer pegs sucked. What did the Smiths have? I don't think they had a damn thing. But, I mean, to me, I was like, this is the best time to do this, so might as well do it now. Yeah, I could hold off until I find the mirror, maybe, but... Yay, bombs. Lovely. Oh yeah, hadn't seen on Desert Ledge yet, because I've never been to Agana's Cave. So yeah, once again, I'm still, like, basically a full dungeon behind. Oh man, and miendiem showing off Spooky? Damn, okay, I need to pick up Spooky. Too many people know it while I don't know it. I did get that dash there, which was nice. The spicy dash. Cape and Master Sword for Vidya is nice. Just do cape and do full spins. Ooh, wow. Well, miendiem does still have a fairy, so can play a little bit closer there. You have to give up your Samaria strats in Meyer's second room if you do Spooky, though? Well, I don't need that. I don't need the Samaria strats because you use the Spooky to do it, right? Also, nice flippers, bruh. Flippers off. So we had what? Mitts on Moth. Flippers on Vidi. So now I wonder if miendiem did go ahead and do all the flipper checks that I did, or if this is a rush straight to Ice Palace, because you have a fully clearable Crystal Ice Palace with Icebreaker. Oh, with the Wiz Robes right at the start. Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Oh, man. But I like doing that strat. Okay, so miendiem going for the Dark Death Mountain. And you know what? I agree with this choice. Because I think I went up straight to TR in hopes of opening it. But with only one medallion, your chances of actually opening it... I mean, this was... The thing is, if TR was actually Bombos, then you'd have to go all the way back around again. So, like... You're banking on... either A, finding the mirror up on Dark Death Mountain, if TR is Bombos, or TR not being Bombos, and it not mattering anyway. Yeah, I got the rail clip. Heck yeah. Now let's make this Meyer visit even longer. I don't think so, Bland. I've never, like, I saw miendiem just do that. I'm like, eh? I mean, it's probably not faster, but it's probably not faster by a tiny bit. Because, I mean, you're... But it is interesting. I've never seen someone do that before, so... this hookshot cave sucked. Yeah, that was a whole lot of nothing. And there's an Ether Medallion for TR, so... Now it's down to Mirror and Ether for Go Mode, for miendiem. And then eventually for me once I beat Viddy. Yeah. Assuming this is Ice Palace next. I mean, it's either Ice or Mirrorless Smith or... King's Tomb... Catfish? Or Eastern. Okay, so this is a point that's good for me, because now miendiem is doing all these flipper checks that I did before doing Aga. So this is the time that I'm getting back now. And yeah, you know, miendiem get to do it a little bit faster, having Flute to already get over to Flute 8 spot, and having Boots to dash around. So I'm not getting a lot of time back, but I'm getting more time back than if if he ended up not doing it at all, so... Yeah, that's true. I love sequence breaks, though. Like, I tend to play towards sequence breaks because I love being able to reverse engineer where the logic is telling you to go. I was like, I want this magic for the cape strats. I mean, it's certainly a playstyle. I mean, in the last race between me and miendiem, both of us apparently did a out of logic Crystal Ice Palace. Neither of us had flippers, but it gave us a Pyramid Fairy Crystal that led both of us to the pyramid to get Canis Samaria on the pyramid. So, like, obviously, if your go mode is flippers, which in that race it was, you know, you want to be able to go mode Ice Palace there, but it would have been a better, it ended up working out. The only problem is I did all of Pendant Thieves Town before making that decision. Yeah, I noticed that with the timing that the spike will block the Samaria shot, depending on how you do it. But yeah, look at this. Like, miendiem, though they have been up on Death Mountain, did all the Dark Death Mountain stuff, like, they've done all the flipper checks that I did before Aga, so that's a good chunk of time that I just got back. Ow! That little eyeball gave me a little kiss on the mouth. Or kiss on the meowth, excuse me. Yay, flippers! I think I just rushed Ice Palace at this point. Because, I mean, a go mode Ice Palace with Icebreaker... Not even a go mode Ice Palace, a full clear Ice Palace with Icebreaker is really not that bad. And especially with an item force on the boss. Like, there's a good chance you might be able to skip Ice Tea Room. I don't know why I spawned at Sank. Oh, maybe because of King's Tomb first? Or did I already do that? Looks like no. Okay. So I don't know it yet, but I still need Ether and Mirror. Did I go up the mountain next, or did I go to Ice? I think I went straight to Ice. It just seemed like a good play. Yeah. Yeah, because in my head I'm like, man, if I pick up another pendant or another medallion while I'm in Ice Palace, then I have a much better chance of being able to get into T-Rock and doing it there and finding a mirror for go mode. Probably, maybe. At least that was my mindset going through there. But yeah. Look at that! We're both in Ice Palace. Wham! Oh, that was sick. That timing was... Oh, I love that. That boomerang and the sword beam was so good. Smooth. Oh, nice. miendiem got the little spin there. I stopped going for that because either I goof it up and don't get it, or I do, but I take damage, so... Doing it the way with just hookshot, where you hookshot the block on the left to clip the rail on the left side, is good enough for me. Yeah, this Ice Palace had nothing in it, I'm pretty sure. Well, I know where the last two items are that we need, so of course. Let's see this Cold Stare fight for miendiem. Bam, 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 bam. Well, when you have Bombos and Fire Rod, you have so much magic to just wail. So this interesting situation for miendiem. At this point, they have Mirrorless Smith, King's Tomb, Catfish, Pendant Eastern Pod, or Pendant Eastern into Ped. I've been told that if you do the Fire Rod shots at Cold Stare to hit him in the left corner, it has a much higher chance of getting the splash damage to multi-hit them with a single Fire Rod shot. Because you'll see sometimes when you hit him to the right, it'll just single target hit. So, game's weird. Okay, once I beat Cold Stare, then, I mean, aside from Dark Death Mountain, we're pretty well synced up. I think I remember Yagamoth mentioning that at one point. Okay. A little bit better. I mean, look, it still worked. Worked out pretty well on the right side, so... You know, I have so much muscle memory just doing it that way that if I tried to do it a different way, I would absolutely blow it. But yeah. Tied for crystals now. I think at this point, I'm gonna go up the mountain. Because I'm like, okay, well, if I can get into T-Rock, then we're good to go. Good chance we'll find the mirror in TR. Oh, but I go turning green pendant first. Okay, yeah. I don't know if miendiem did that yet. I don't think so. So I do still have purple chest as well. Yay, 50 bucks. But, you know, going to purple chest sounds awful. I got max rupees if this was the vanilla game. I'm still hoping at some point for like a hard mode version of the rando, it goes back to max 999. I know it's been like discussed and brought up. Honestly, I didn't really feel like the hard mode for this tournament was that hard. I kind of wish more of these modes were like actual harder, because there's so many seeds where you see people completely decked out in items. One thing this seed was definitely lacking in was swords. Show me bombos! Oh no! At this moment, I rolled my eyes and I said, of course. So, this is crazy. I mean, Miendiem's about to pull purple chests, and I don't think I've done Agnes Cave yet either still. And either we're looking for Ether to get into TR, or we're looking for a mirror to get into Swamp. I mean, I guess technically we're also potentially looking for a book to get into Desert. Mirror would also get us into Swamp as well. Yeah, the Hera Big Chest was where we both got our Master Sword. Just bombs from Purple Chest, so... I think this is the deciding moment. Yeah, right here. Hour 15 minutes. This might be Green Pennant turned in first. Yeah, I think so. Now remember, at the beginning of the seed, I dipped Eastern before making the Aga play. Well, this is where I'm going to make up that time, because Miendiem's heading into Eastern now at an hour 15. Thing is, they have the ability to clear it. And, you know, that bow's been in Logic since we went to Hype Cave. So, which was, you know, 20-some minutes in. I've never seen that accident. How do you... Wow, that's impressive to accidentally jump off there. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And at this point for me, all I have left is Purple Chest, Eastern, Ped, and Catfish. Really fun combination. Really fun options left. Yeah, I decided... I don't know why I went this way. This is definitely not faster if you're gonna go to Purple Chest. Like... Me? No. There's no way this is faster. And I realized this as I was going through. I was like, this is really stupid. Why am I going this way? But it's one of those things where it's like, well, I'm already in the Dark World. I already made this commitment, so I might as well just go, because now it's going to be slower to backtrack, to like save and quit, and like flute to Kakariko and go that way. But yeah, right now, I mean... We're basically tied up at this point, I think. I mean, the only difference is Miendiem is only a few half dozen rooms away from the next step, the next possibility. But, you know... I already went to Eastern. I really don't want to go back there. I really don't. And this actually might have been a moment of the previous race making this decision for me, because in the previous race I also dipped Eastern early and then never went back. And it didn't hurt, like it didn't punish me, so it's literally either Eastern, Ped, or Catfish for our next progression. And, I mean, you could have checked this as soon as you got the glove out of pod. So if this is the... But at the same time, you could have checked Eastern Boss as soon as you went to Hype Cave, so... Both of these checks are actually pretty heckin' early in the logic, if you think about it. Survey says... Red Boomerang. The other survey... This is where I got bailed out. Was the mirror. Yeah. It makes sense to go to pet at this point than to go to catfish. But yeah, got the mirror, and I'm like, you know what? Getting the mirror this late sucks so much butt, because now I have all these one-off mirror checks I gotta do. And my brain's like, I could have had this mirror so early and could have routed in stuff so much more efficiently. Like, getting late mirror always feels really bad. And I decided to use this opportunity to go ahead and check Graveyard Ledge. Because, you know, at this point now, either I'm just going to find Ether in the overworld and I can go mode Swamp and TR, or I just have to go to Swamp and look for progression there. And, you know, also watch this ped seat. I think it was Full Heart. So that was an Ether. If that had been Ether, then miendiem would be in a really good spot, but... I mean, after all that, we're still not in go mode. We still need that Ether medallion for TR. And I think for this, I mean, I talked about it in the interview after this race, but like, if I have a bunch of overworld or I get to go mode a particular dungeon, it depends on the dungeon. Like, Swamp Palace sucks because of the whole left side swamp bit. You know, if I can go mode swamp, that's amazing. Now, one thing I did, which is why I'm doing all these extra checks instead of just going straight to swamp, but the funny thing is, at this moment right now, I don't even realize that desert exists. So I completely forgot about Desert Palace at this point, because my mentality's shattered. I'm stressing out of my mind because I need to win this race to move on, and I just pulled a really late mirror that I could have had 20 minutes into the seed, depending on when you did Aga Tower, or depending on when you, maybe more like 25. So yeah, I'm checking all this overworld. I remember desert. The other thing that's on my mind is, of course, that dang shovel that's back up on Floating Island. Like, man, if Ether is behind that shovel, that absolutely sucks. Well, yeah, we didn't have the mirror to do desert after Mire. We just got access to desert. Yeah, desert's kind of nice because, you know, it's 2-item dungeon. If you find the first one, then you can just rush the boss. So right now there's the 2 items in desert, the 6 items in swamp. I think it's 6. It's 5 in TR, 6 in swamp. 6 in TR if you count Mimic Cave. And yeah, I got the big key, so I'm like, okay, I need 1 more item for go mode. Let's go kill Lamolas, since I know it's gonna be an item, and then if we don't find it there, we can go back in and check right side. But yeah, basically, whoever finds Ether first right now is in the lead. And it's really funny that we both went for different dungeons at this point. Well, tactically in this seed, the mirror was pretty early. It's really hard to find a glove in pod and be like, man, let's go to catfish next. Like, it'd be different if you like already had the mirror and you'd save and quit to go back to the castle, but I mean, you know, it's just happened to be a seed with a required catfish. Also, what a slow land mole is. Too bad I didn't have any fire bees. That would have been nice. Hey, a crystal. I like those. Man, if only I took a second to realize which crystal I just picked up. Because I'm going to be honest, I did not realize that. I just unlocked Pyramid Fairy. Needs more fire bees. I'm running two videos synced up. The video you're watching is muted, and then I have my game audio from my personal recording playing. That's how you're hearing just my game audio and not the restream audio. Yeah. Yeah, because it's really hard to watch a race without game audio. There's still no ether here in Swamp Palace, and I pull a green dollar out of desert, and I'm like, this game stinks. I don't really know why I saved and quit. I think in my mind it was probably faster to do that than to mirror flute to Link's house. Yeah, this was definitely faster. Well, there's still big chest in left side swamp if Argus doesn't have ether. And you might think, oh wow, Willer's gonna go do Pyramid Fairy. Nope, that was me just missing an input and screen transitioning for no reason. I forgot about Pyramid Fairy at this point. I didn't even think about it. Yeah, we just need to find ether to get into TR. That's it. That's all we need. It looks like miendiem is going back in. There is still, I think, 2 items left in Swamp. I think it was map and then 2 items left. The seed, well, it was a Aga seed. This seed would have played out very differently if either of us had checked catfish after finding our first glove in pod. Like, that was... It'd be really interesting to see, like, 100 people play this seed blind, and just to see how different of seeds you could have gotten. Because this seed could have been pretty quick. If you just make the right choices. But yeah, it also didn't help that, well, Meyer was a crystal, so the flippers that were on Meyer was not. The only pendant boss that had an item was Moth, who had the mitts. Yeah, same, bland. At least that was my thought process. Because, like, I did literally everything left, aside from Agana's Cave. Even did fake flipper stuff before making the Aga play, which put me behind the entire race. Like, I might have Desert complete at this point, but I'm still behind. I think, a little bit. So, earlier, Rambler, it came down to Catfish versus Eastern Boss and Ped for progression. miendiem, I dipped Eastern before Aga, so all I knew was that there was just the boss left. So I went for Catfish and got the mirror, while miendiem went and full cleared all of Eastern and pulled Ped for a red boomerang and a heart container off the pedestal. So, like, the decision making made perfect sense. I can't fault him for that, obviously. And my decision to not go back to Eastern made sense too. And it really was just luck of the draw. Like, if Mir had been on Eastern or Ped, then it'd be a completely different race. The Mitts on Ped Dream. Yeah. I mean, we got Bow really early, so Eastern was in play really... Eastern and Pod were in play, like, really early, like, right after Aga. And it's funny, if we had the Mir early, I could easily see both of us, you know, beat Pod, Mir, finish Eastern, and then go do Skull Woods into Pedestal, but since... And you probably could have in this seed if you had decided to go to Catfish at all. But, yeah, nothing on left side Swamp. And miendiem is still checking extra stuff along the way here. I'm really curious to see how close this ends up being. Because they're going to go do Desert now. And all they have left is Pyramid Fairy. miendiem accidentally skips Big Key Chest. Oh yeah, I think I remember them mentioning that in the... Imagine skipping that when there's so few left. Oh, I bet the comms were freaking out. And back I go. Because right now, for me, I have literally 2 items in Swamp, 2 items in Pyramid Fairy that I forgot about, and a Eastern Boss and Ped, or a Shovel up on Floating Island that could lead to Go Mode Ether. Cheeks. Not very fun options, I gotta say. Womp womp. At least TR will be Go Mode. Yeah, I mean, at least you get to skip Mimic Cave, pretty much, and that's it. Sometimes the seeds are mean, and you end up looking for a key on Laser Bridge, so you might get to skip, like, the last chest. But when you still don't have a sword, you're like, oh, go ahead and check this anyway. Yeah, that is a really unfun place for a big key to be in Swamp, is on left side that you didn't do right away. These are the kind of races that are really fun to watch. And it's crazy, like, for me, I'm freaking out because I did so much extra overworld and still ended up having a full clear Swamp. Which feels even worse. Alright, is there an Ether Medallion on left side Swamp? We already know that one's a big 20, but what's in the last chest? It's also a big 20. So I'm freaking out. Because I'm like, okay. Eastern Boss, Head Turn In, or Shovel. But then I remembered. I remembered Pyramid Fairy. I was like, okay, good. I remembered Pyramid Fairy, which might save me from those full checks. Because, I mean, if it's not Pyramid Fairy, what do you do? Do you go up for a single shovel, or do you go for the Eastern Ped play? Like, that's such a tough call. because it's really hard to predict whether your opponent dipped Eastern early before Aga like I did. Both are awful. Yeah, I agree. And that's the thing, is if you got the mirror early enough, you could have had that shovel right away. So, like, with how late I got the mirror, it's really hard to predict where my opponent is at this point. And I mean, we're at hour and 34 minutes. Still not in go mode. But bailed out. Okay. Go mode 134. Miendiem is really close though. But that puts me in the lead. After all that, I'm back on top. That's crazy. That is so crazy. So now it's just it's an execution battle, but also it's a GT battle. It's a GT route seed. Which, you know me, you know how much I love when seeds come down to a different GT route. And right now, for me, my only out that I'm thinking about is that maybe my opponent didn't get that Hera sword and isn't in go mode yet, is still looking for another sword. Like, I kept thinking that they skipped that, and I had that as an out. See a shovel. I'd argue that isn't the case because the push block room forces you to go back and do it, or... Sorry, I missed the first one. So, in this situation, I mean, obviously if miendiem never went to Eastern and finished it and pulled Ped and had just gone to Catfish, I'd be so dead in the water. Oh, I love that strat. You hook shot the... I think I've definitely seen that before, where you hook shot the block and then bonk it, and you automatically absorb the fairy. Ether was on shovel. Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know what I'd tell you, chat. I don't know what I would have done if Ether was on shovel at that point. It's like, I really wanted to commit to never going back to Eastern. Oh, high five! Wow, it's nuts. This is exciting. I mean, close races are fun. I kind of, like, part of me wants to watch the Vortex race, the 35-second race, but I don't know. I'm less likely to watch races where I lose. Boy, I sure hope I win this race. Otherwise, I just, made a fool of myself. I mean, climbing up Death Mountain just to get the shovel that's a long trek. To then go check it, I mean... Yeah. That's why I was so glad that Pyramid Fairy had it. But of course I was mad at myself because I did all those extra checks, hoping to go mode Swamp, and if I just remembered Pyramid Fairy after beating Desert, I could have gotten to go mode Swamp. But then it wouldn't have been this close, so... Also, of course, it was a vanilla big key, so you have to full clear this dungeon. Yeah, I mean... Going to Hyrule Castle in an inverted seed is awful without boots. Which is why... And I had crystal dungeons I could do. So it just didn't make sense to go there at any point. And then, honestly, me getting the boots when I did was bad, because it just set me on a different path that ended up not leading to anything. Logic expect you to get a shovel out of Chain Chomps, to get Burna, to get Fire Rod from Spike Cave, to get either later to Mimic Cave. Gross. I popped into their race channel and I was reading their discussion. Nice silvers. I'm like, okay, well, if this is a Master Sword silver fight, then... I don't know, for me at that point, I don't know if I was happy to see the silvers or not. Because, you know, I'm pretty okay with Master Sword silverless. And I guess I'd rather see that there than see another sword, because in my brain I'm still thinking that I have a sword advantage over my opponent, which is obviously wrong. But I mean, how often do you Hera pot in Hera, and then after beating the boss, go back in, do Hera basement to get the big key, to Hera pot again to get the item? I feel like not many players will do that. And this, I think this is what ended up helping me out in these two races against miendiem, is I think we play very similarly. Like, I don't really subscribe to the whole just skip random shit mentality or meta when I race these. And it doesn't seem like he does either, so we both play a very similar style. Is what I'm getting at just from watching this. Yeah, I mean, this race definitely could have gone either way. If that mirror had shown up somewhere else, you know, really, if it just came down to Eastern over Catfish. But that's the thing, is for me, like, when it comes to races, like, I try not to get myself down for making decisions that turn out to be wrong. Because, I mean, unless it's like, you know, oh, well, this, you know, wasn't a logical check, so of course it couldn't have been there kind of thing. I'm just going to get mad at the seed for not putting the thing that I want in the spot that I checked. Like, damn it, game! Why didn't you put the boots in Link's house every time? What the hell are you doing? I think it's definitely helped my mentality, but... It's still a close race. miendiem is not too far behind. I mean, at this point, it's really going to be a GT routing that makes the difference here. And for me, since I'm still under this impression that I have Master Sword and my opponent doesn't, I'm sitting there thinking like, man, I hope the big key's early so I can just grab it and go upstairs. 1 minute, 5 seconds behind miendiem is? Okay. It's a close race. I feel like most people have gotten to the better safe than sorry mentality because it allows for times to be more consistent rather than hoping for a Hail Mary of intentionally ignored checks. You say that, but man, there's so many races I watch where people just skip all sorts of random stuff. Like, I've seen more and more people do the whole skip Eastern big key chest. And I'm like, if you skip that and there's something there, you just lose. Because you're never going back there. And I don't know, personally, I don't enjoy racing against people that play like that. I just don't think it's fun. Like, oh, I lost because my opponent skipped random checks and didn't get punished. Okay, well, I'm still on board with the whole left, right, left. I pretty much stuck to the same GT route for all of my non-key sanity. Well, except for the weird key sanity where GT big key is in here. I've learned that the second I don't do my standard route in GT, it's gonna be on right side. Bugnet. Bottle. Dead Stalfos. B. Big key. All B's. Bugnet, bottle, B, big key. Love it. Anyway, I went ahead and checked right side, because if there's a sword here and I don't get it, then... I got a mushroom, though. So this is good for me. I mean, now it's really just about execution. Yeah, I guess until Ether showed up, it was really hard to tell who was in the lead. And man, that Ether could have showed up in so many... If Ether had been, like, just in the front of Swamp or something, then I think miendiem, like, wins this. Because then, you know, he wouldn't do left side Swamp. It would have definitely put him in the lead there. Because, I mean, this was this close because miendiem did basically everything I did, plus a few extra checks. Oh, miendiem also checked right side as well for a sword. That's funny. See, I told you, we're similar playstyles. Oh, I bet it's because he watched JP's race. Because JP had a race against Vortex where he was first into GT. He didn't check right side, and it had a sword. And Vortex checked right side, got the sword, and had tempered. And it allowed him to catch up and pass him at Ganon. Which was really awful. That was so hard to watch. That sucks. There was a race last tournament. I think it was game 1 in brackets, me versus Julo Ninja, where I got passed by Julo on Ganon because he showed up with a tempered sword while I was stuck on Master Sword. Those are always crazy to watch. It just sucks to be on the losing side of it. But 2 tournaments ago, there was a race between me and BBB Kermit in the group stage where I had tempered, I showed up to Ganon late, but made up a bunch of time and then got like a really quick phase 4, and I think I won by like 8 seconds or something. Are you talking about for GT? GT routing? I think I did Hope and did left side a lot. But then I started doing the left, right, left. I mean, it's obviously slow if Hope Room or Random Room has the big key. But it's safe. Because you don't want to do Hope to left side and then beat Ice Armos and then get a big key on right side. I think most players will do the Hope Room to full left. Also, nice Tempered Sword. So now all of a sudden we went from Master Sword Silverless Ganon to Tempered Silvers after the last 2 dungeons. Oh, miendiem misses the quick Lamolas. I think I used silvers on this and I got the quick Lamolas kill, so... Oh, and didn't switch to silvers either. Oh no. So it looks like execution definitely favored me towards the end here. But then again, I don't know how many hours miendiem has. Like, it's just... It's kind of the crazy thing about Randomizer is, like, I have 4,000 hours in this game, but I could definitely lose to anybody on any given day. It just depends on how the seed plays out. And I think going on, like, further on in this community, like, this community is only going to get bigger and better and stronger. It's gonna be nuts to see how it progresses. I mean, there's already a lot of people in this tournament that are new to me and are putting in the work. So, hello, Ganon. I think I had a really shitty phase 4, if I remember. I think I even got like a cape slash on Ganon as well in phase 4, where I hit him with just a regular tempered sword slash while he was warping. I want to see. I don't remember actually where I goofed up here. Yeah, really close race. This was definitely a comeback from behind story for me. So. I, of course, had the race room closed ever since I entered GT. Maybe even earlier than that, so I had no idea. Oh yeah, he spawned there, and I'm like, what the hell do I do with that? And then, yeah. There it is. Okay, I got the cape slash. I think I go for double here. It was really awkward. Yeah, okay, I know. The torch went out, which ate my input, so I almost walked into him. It's a really bad fight, but nutty. Just like that. Wow. But I did it. I won. And now I'm in brackets. From TR Laser Bridge to leaving Moldrum 2, mine had lost another 55 seconds. Oh, okay. Just to execution. Well, it's good to see that my years of practice is helping me save minute. Winner! It says winner there, but yeah, that's the race. Really close. Like I had said several times before, like I think I've only done a double header like this maybe once before, and it was for SG Live 2019 versus Sir Link-A-Lot. I needed to win the first race to set up the tiebreaker and then win that to move on to brackets, and I managed it. So I ended up finishing 3-3. So I lost both games to Vortex. One was by 35 seconds, and I dropped one game to JP because God, that was the other Ambrosia seed where I just got stupid unlucky with my decisions. Freaking. Yeah, so me and Vortex made it out of groups. Vortex ended up finishing undefeated at 6-0. I finished 3-3. miendiem finished 2-4. And JP finished 1-5. So. Which was, yeah, very interesting group. You know, I definitely regret holding off on these races. Like, originally my plan was to do one race on Thursday and then do the other one today. Today was going to be my last game against miendiem, but after the Vortex race, I was like, I just want to be done. I just want to be done with groups. So I asked to do a doubleheader, just because I wanted to get it over with. I just wanted to be done so I can relax the rest of the week, either on the sidelines or, you know, moving on to... That was a really scary movement there. So. But yeah. GG's to me. I did it. And there's still plenty of groups finishing up and a lot of interesting finishing going on in the tourney. So it's going to be interesting to see how brackets play out as well. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this live. Willard live reacts to his own race. And yeah, once again, thank you to all the people that worked behind the scenes on this seed in particular, or on this restream. I think it was Arterral that was restreaming it onto LTTPR. And then, of course, the comms and the trackers that did that. So, and yeah, thanks for watching, folks. I'm gonna end the video now.